everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So I was just looking at TRG's Twitter X page, highly recommend, like her YouTube channel, and kind of depressing, but so true in that Harry and Meghan, as you know, are returning to the scene of the crime, back to their godfather there, their Islamic leader, King Charles III. And because their mission seems to have been accomplished in bringing in censorship around the world, it's quite obvious. Censorship has gone through the roof in the UK with people being arrested for tweets. And they started doing that with Harry and Meghan. They started outing and doxing people, deplatforming them, in order to bring in for Meghan to wail and claim to be a victim of racism and wanting to censor everyone and pushing. Now they had to switch it to child safety in order to get everybody to have a digital ID. And right now there is a case going on in court in California where they're pushing, Meta is going to try to force everyone to have to give biometrics or whatnot in order to get online, to use social media in an effort to keep children safe, right? It's always about your safety. So basically what she's saying here is, what we know, which is she feels like Harry and Meghan have won, and that this whole thing, which is a psyop, Megxit was a lie. And this is you can see the video on her channel from BBC talking about this and how it's going to be bringing in this child safety, and how child safety is this censorship is already happening in Australia. They banned under 16s from being online, and they're starting it in the UK and I believe Europe as well, starting in 2027, and they're pushing it here. They want it in America, where we have freedom of speech, and they're trampling all over our First Amendment, which we all know. Harry said, the First Amendment is bonkers. So it's obvious that they came here just to attack us and to attack our freedom of speech, and it seems like they've succeeded. Harry, Meghan, their Antifa, Sussex Squad, Christopher Boozy, fraud, criminal scam. This whole thing is terrorism. So I want to see, do Harry and Meghan, do they feel that they've won? Do they feel like they accomplished what they set out to do? We know it was about censoring us. We know they're right. It seems like they're on the verge. You remember how happy they were? They announced it on their website, how happy they were about the child safety law in Australia. So you can imagine how over the moon they would be if it happens here to Americans. Oh my gosh, they would be rubbing it in our faces so badly. I'm telling you, it's like I already hate the both of them so much, that, and the fact that they're causing this to happen, those two British royal backed, evil, satanic, lying, manipulative, ugly, talentless, disgusting, despicable things that, it should just be off the planet as soon as possible. If I had any say over it, I'll tell you, they need to be deplatformed. And they didn't care about all of us who were wrongly deplatformed. Did we get any, recompense for that? Of course not. We're nothing. We're nobodies, right? But Prince Harry can threaten somebody, Gavin Burrows, and forge his signature and go into court and say, "Hey, judge, I want to win. Here's a signed affidavit from Gavin Burrows," and even poor Gavin Burrows has to go into hiding, and then in order to come to court via Zoom and say, "No, that's not my signature, and I'm afraid for my life." Basically, why? Because of Prince Harry, and he gets away with this. They're all criminals. He should be in prison. Harry, Meghan, King Charles, they should all be in prison. They're all nothing but criminals and pedophiles and disgusting, vile, evil Satanists. But anyways, I can rant and rave for hours, as I'm sure many of you could. But I'm going to be really pissed about this child safety thing. Once again, I'm on Linux, and I love Linux. It's very easy. It's so much better than Windows. So much better. I finally get it. And I'm an old fogey, and I can switch over to Linux. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. But anyways, here we go. Do Harry and Meghan feel like they've gotten away with it now? Because, from our perspective, because this court case is happening and it looks like it's going their way, it does look like, they're victorious. They've accomplished it. Their Black Ops mission. And of course they didn't do it alone. Obviously they're too stupid and talentless. They had James Holt and CCDH and Jory Craig and all these the Marxist communists around them. They did all the work. Harry and Meghan just take all the credit, right? But I'm wondering, like, even though they appear to have accomplished everything they wanted, is it really everything they were aiming for? Or were they trying to get more? That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if they've accomplished everything they set out for with their mission, or did they fail somewhat? Did they not reach the goal they were expecting? I just want to look at basically how they feel about what they've accomplished here. Did things go better than expected? Basically what they expected, or were they disappointed that they didn't have the effect they thought they were going to have? Because it seemed to me, and of course I could just be falling for the PR lies, but it seems to me like Meghan really thought people were going to sympathize with her poor woe is me. I'm supposedly black, although I don't believe she really is. I think she's Middle Eastern. But woe is me. Poor, I'm going to cry on Netflix. Everyone should feel bad for me. I kind of think that maybe she thought she would get more sympathy. She did get it from the Sussex Squad, but yeah, that was obviously bought and paid for. Let's see. I don't know if they really succeeded as much as they wanted to, or what they expected they could do. So let's see. What's the vibe of how Harry and Meghan feel about their censorship, child safety, non-censorship, bringing New World Order? How do they feel? Do they feel they accomplished everything they set out to do? So the first card, oh my goodness, possibilities. Doesn't this look like Meghan dragging Harry around in this? And that was basically what we saw the entire time. They got Invictus and whatnot. Follow your dreams, make up your mind, believe in yourself. Yeah, this sounds like the platitudes that Megalodon uses on her Instagram. Yeah, so they saw a lot more possibilities for themselves. I think Meghan really thought that, or whatever Rachel's real name is, I think she thought that this could launch her to some bigger dreams. So I do think she had higher expectations that she could do more, be a success. She did want to be in fell face down. I don't take that. She did want to be in a superstar, not superstar, but superhero movie. Remember, she wanted to be a superhero. She was making all these demands when she first arrived in LA. She's like, I want to be a superhero movie, like Angelina Jolie. She never got that, which is, so I think she was expecting more in that regard. I think she really expected to be a superstar in a movie, a superhero in a movie. And she did expect to have Netflix launch her movie about a girl who, Muslim Meghan, hiding, concealing, deception. Doesn't even that look like her? Yeah, so I do get that, of course, she was always wearing a mask, and she was, of course, deceiving everybody, which we all know, and pushing Islam. Was also part of what she was paid to do. Of course, she had those $1 million earrings from MBS, Mohammed bin Salman. So she was pushing a Muslim agenda, Muslim invasion agenda with the refugees, which was really also a part of this. And of course, I think Meghan is from the Middle East. I think that she is Muslim, most possibly. Or at least has that backing, that background somehow, and that's what's brought her. Because she has this very strong Middle Eastern. All the people that worked for her, I made a list. All these people, Iranian people around her that she worked with. She hired at Archwell. Omid Scobie's Iranian. Imran Ahmed of CCDH is Iranian. There are all these Iranians around her as well. Coincidentally not. Puzzled. Confused, perplexed, and conflicted. Well, they were definitely here to do this. This was, I think, part of their mission to confuse everybody about their real intentions. The whole escape the palace nonsense. We all knew that was BS from day one, but they really pushed that as well as pushing don't forget in 2020 when they launched at the same time as COVID, January 2020, when they announced on her Instagram, she really expected her Instagram to be the place. That was a big deal to her. That Sussex Royale Instagram, she thought she was going to make millions just on the Instagram. And the Queen cut it off on her. She had plans of making a lot more money off of this. So they succeeded in puzzling everybody as to why they were doing what they were doing. But, now, the censorship, it all fell into place. Thank you, TRG. Really tied a lot of the things together there. And exhausted, burnt out, burdened, and empty. And, Meghan isn't looking good these days. Neither is Harry. They look like crap. They're exhausted. They've done everything they could. They're burned out. Nobody likes them. And they realize that they've done it. They've exhausted every option that they can pull here for what they've done so far. So they've done everything. They've exhausted every avenue, every Netflix show they can do, every book they could write, every thing they could pop up on a stage with a microphone. I mean, there was nowhere they wouldn't go if they could grab the microphone, right? They went to charity events, anywhere she could. Meghan even donated some money to the Girl Scout movie just so she could show up at their premiere and try to grab the microphone again. I mean, yeah. So I kind of get. So far, I'm getting that there's a little disappointment here in that I don't think she achieved the Instagram loving witch wife. Didn't achieve the grand Instagram money making machine she was desperately hoping to make. She is, they've tried to mask and hide and conceal who she is as much as possible. She wears a mask, but her identity, we really don't know her real identity, and they're still hiding, concealing it. And that was an indication when everything was scrubbed off the internet that she put the Epstein connections as well. So basically puzzling, confusing people with the media as much as possible about that. But of course, TRG has, she has put out the tweets. You got to read them all. She's, dead to rights. She's got every last detail on them and what they were doing and who they were doing with. This is all is about on the America's 250th anniversary is when the satanic British royal family, the most evil family on earth, has decided to try to attack our freedom of speech, attack this country, destroy it. Because everybody knows you lose freedom of speech, you lose everything. All the other rights depend on freedom of speech. You lose that, everything else falls apart. Nothing. You don't have any other freedoms if you have no freedom of speech. So this is a serious attack on our country. It's destroying this country. It's trying to bring in this Marxist communism or whatever, the New World Order communist way they want to bring in. And Harry and Meghan, it does look like, but again, I don't think they're totally, well, we'll see. How do they feel? How do they feel about this? So use the beautiful new tarot deck I got here, the Celestial Tarot deck. I just did a video on. Apologies for the camera in the last video, but wasn't doing that so well that day. Had a lower setting on it. I thought it would make it faster, but instead it made it more wobbly and whatnot to the picture. So apologies. I won't do that again. Anyhow, how are Harry and Meghan feeling? Do they feel like they've succeeded? Are they patting each other on the back? Are they laughing their asses off at us? Are they thinking they want to do more? Are they like, we got to go back and finish the job? Or are they angry that they didn't get to destroy us enough? They didn't do enough damage during Biden? Are they ready? They want to... I'll ask how they feel about TRG. How about that? I already know that Nanaki Pretty. Ooh, that Nanaki Pretty, I'm telling you, whoever was behind that Nanaki Pretty account, that was Meghan Markle. No one can convince me otherwise. I'll ask about that. I gotta see, but first I want to see, how's TRG? How's TRG affecting them? She's the most effective investigator. Wow, I wish I had like a half of the brain TRG has. I'm like, how the heck does she... She's like a computer, that woman. She's AI or something. She's a human AI machine. Amazing, extremely. I wonder where's Duchess of Narcissus? I haven't heard anything from her recently. I hope she comes back. And I didn't get a chance to watch all her videos. I wish I had when it was up. I didn't realize they'd be ripping her down so fast. But anyways, yeah, let's see here. Harry and Meghan, how are they feeling about their work they came here to do? Yeah. And how do they feel about, how did TRG affect them? Did TRG cause them to go back earlier? It's funny because it was right after TRG tweeted saying, why don't you just rip the Band-Aid off, Charles, and just tell her, and to the Royal Rhoda, why don't you just rip the Band-Aid off and say they're going back? We know already, because they were teasing it out about Harry and Meghan going back to the UK. And right after she tweeted that, boom, they came out and said, all right, Harry and Meghan are going back to the UK. So it was like, I think TRG got into their skin. Let's see. How did TRG affecting them? How is TRG affecting them? You'd be surprised. They're watching everything, especially TRG. How are they? What are they expecting? What are they expecting to do going forward? Are they done with it? I am getting here that they're exhausted. Yeah. What are they going to do next in the UK? Lucky British people having Harry and Meghan back. I think people are expecting Meghan not to go back to the UK, but we'll see. She'll probably go back to the Middle East where she came from. Let's see here. I don't think she's American. I really don't. She really doesn't act American. She acts like an idiot. Anyways, brainwash. Maybe the MK Ultra just makes her seem that way. I don't know. But yeah, what are they expecting to do next? What are they gonna do next? What were they not happy with as far as their accomplishment of their mission, their Black Ops mission? Yeah, I'll ask how they feel about the Megxit community as a whole. Now, a lot of the Megxit community are, what's the expression? They're Sussex squatters pretending to be Megxit. They're fellow Satanists pretending to be Megxit. But whatever, I would say in general, the real Megxit people, how do they feel about them in general? Or all of us, I should say in general. What did they not accomplish? What more do they want to accomplish? Yeah, let's see. How's it going to go in the long run? Are they done? Are they going to be trying to continue it? Do more and more and more? Because, it's not going to be enough. This is just one step. They want more power, more control over everyone. Especially with that mRNA, apparently, is a big part of it as well. Yeah, look out. Elon Musk loves mRNA. So does Trump. They just love it. Oof. They want to take shot after shot after shot, booster after booster after booster. Yeah. Woo. You go for it, girl. If you want to get your boosters, you just keep taking those boosters and see where it gets you. It's got something to do with this new world order. That's all I got to say. So anyways, let's see about the cards and Harry and Meghan. How do they feel about their mission in the United States with their Megxit mission as they're going back to the UK? Let's see. See what the cards show. General attitude here. Ooh, 4 of Cups reversed. Ooh, someone's not happy. Someone's not happy. They're little sour grapes here. Not majorly. It's a minor arcana. A little disappointed. I think they thought they were going to be more popular. Sun. Ooh. Wow. That's very powerful. Yeah, mission accomplished there. Wow. But at the same time, maybe because it's over, particularly for Rachel, her acting gig is coming to an end, and it's being done rather quietly, right? They've sort of quieted down from what I can see. It's like they don't command the attention of the brouhaha, or there's no more fake pregnancies. There's no more big thing, to talk about. Nobody cares, right? They have no attention. People are bored with them. Four of Cups is being bored. You can look at that as excessively so. But yeah, they did accomplish it. Sun. I mean, there's no way around it. No way around the sun. Yeah, mission accomplished. They're very proud of themselves. Empress reversed. Yes, the non-mother, the wretched who abused the memory of Prince Harry's mother, her and Prince Harry abusing it. So it was all about abusing women, because that is about this, because they want to get rid of genders, right? No male, no female. A man can put on a dress and he's a woman, right? How dare you say otherwise? So that was also part of their mission in all of this. Not their main one, but it was part of it. They're part of that same crowd, the Marxist communist crowd there, to get rid of heterosexuals and families, because they just want everybody bowing to the state. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. But anyways, yeah, that was also in general a part of it. This destruction of the feminine, the sacred feminine, the destruction of feminine energies. I don't even think Meghan is a woman. I think she's a tranny. She's got the shoulder to hip ratio and other things. The way he walks downstairs. Same with Harry. I think he's an invert as well. But that's another topic for another day. But once you learn a little bit of anatomy, it's like it screams out at you. You just can't, there's no denying it. But anyways, yeah. So an attack on women, because I don't even think Meghan is a woman, a real ex-woman, yeah, I just read an article where they said a mother and daughter, a real mother and daughter, went to some kind of sporting event, a women's sports event, because that's, of course, a hotbed where this debate is, and they wore T-shirts that said, it simply had XX and XY. As a part of a new company, they're selling these T-shirts. Well, they were kicked out of the event because apparently biology is racist, so this is what you're talking about. How crazy this is what they're trying to enforce on us with this dystopian nonsense. Anyways, Harry and Meghan were a part of that, are a part of that, because they're both inverts in my opinion. That's why I'm getting the Empress reverse. And basis of it all, Ace of Cups. All right, I'm getting a lot of cups now, which I normally never get with Meghan readings. And I think we're getting this here because this is a spiritual card. And of course, we know the spirituality of these two heavy drinkers is one of magic, Satanism. And there was a lot of sorcery, witchcraft involved and around them, and what they did and what they were doing. And of course, with the generating the anger and chaos and trying to get the loosh. They're loosh drivers. So they were here to drive loosh, especially during COVID. Don't forget, all this stuff was going on during COVID. So it was a pile on, and it was jumping on the same spiritual, satanic energies, sorcery going on from Pharmakia with the mRNA, as I was mentioning. And Harry and Meghan were jumping in and creating more chaos, because the Satanists do that. They'll start one chaos, and then they get another one going at the same time, and then another one. So during COVID is, when all the deplatformings were happening and the attacks online and people getting fired from their jobs and color racists, it was all BLM and Antifa all coming out at the same time. I mean, it's so obvious how orchestrated it was. It was like boom, 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 all in a row. And it was all the same Satanists, all satanic. So Harry and Meghan, there's a lot of sorcery behind what they were doing and that they were doing and continue to do, no doubt, because they're part of the royal family, which is Satanist, in my opinion. And how did TRG affect them? Ooh, look at that. Major Arcana. Strength. Look at that. Wow. This is a woman facing off with a lion. Who could that be? I think we know. That's TRG facing off with the royal family. She's looking at him right, and she's got the hand on the mouth. Like, you just shut your mouth. We're sick of your lies and your PR lies and your deceptions and your Satanism. Ooh. Yeah, TRG's got him dead to rights. Yeah, there you are, TRG. You are looking straight at the British royal family, and they're looking right back at you. we got a showdown going on over there of the Major Arcana way. Very powerful. Keep up the excellent work, TRG. Wow. Yeah, I think you pushed him back early. I think TRG pushed Harry and Meghan back to the UK early. I don't even think they're going to go that quick. I think they're going to stick around a little while longer. y'all gotta, give TRG a tip or something. So are Harry and Meghan expecting to do more? Wah, wah. Oh, Eight of Pentacles reversed. Oh, no. Yeah. Their work is so horrible. They know nobody. They have nothing to offer, and they know that. And so they're realizing that nobody wants their crappy work, even as a joke. Even an appearance on a cooking show. Like, how many people actually watch that? I couldn't even be bothered to look for it. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere, but I don't even care enough. I am exhausted with them. That's another thing where everybody's exhausted with them. Like, I can't even be bothered to look at it. I could not care less about that aspect of it. And so, so I don't think they plan on doing much more. I think they're spent. They're done. They've exhausted everything they could do. They don't have the pharmakeia power, satanic power they had during COVID, and that was on high gear there. I think it was slowed down quite a bit. So what do they not do? What were they hoping to do that they did not accomplish? That's what I thought. They wanted to get people arrested, like in the UK. And during COVID, Australia started the quarantine camps, where if you didn't have a vaccine card, they put you in prison. You were put in a concentration camp, but it was called a quarantine camp. So they were just starting it. Don't think everything was global. So don't think it's just Australia who decided to come up with that. They wanted to do that everywhere. They just didn't get that far. Canada was pretty close, though. And now you've got... So UK, it didn't happen, but then the UK turns around and arrests people for a tweet. Literally arrests them and throws them in prison, or jail at least, for a tweet. And Harry and Meghan wanted to bring that here. NTRG is writing about that, and they were hoping to get someone arrested or committed. Another avenue of doing this, if they can't get you arrested for hate speech, which they're trying to do. But another avenue is to have you committed. You're an extremist, right? If you're a conservative, you're extremist. If you're a Christian, you're extremist. And tell you have a mental illness and have you committed to, a mental institution. But they wanted people arrested. They wanted people, at least deplatforming was just the beginning. They wanted a lot more. They wanted imprisonment so they could get it. They wanted what the UK was doing. They absolutely are working towards that. And they didn't accomplish it, but that was their goal. Made no bone about it. That was their goal. Imran Ahmed's goal. And that's where they were going to go with Kamala Harris. They were going to keep going. And TRG said that. She was like, you read the report, Kamala Harris was going to follow the UK and doing that. So they're very close to bringing it here. And Harry and Meghan were working on that. They just didn't get there. So they're disappointed they didn't get that done. And what were they hoping on doing? Queen of Swords. Yeah, this is like the woman who's a lawyer, is a politician, but a corrupt one. Meghan wanted political power. So she was working on getting some kind of political office with Gavin Newsom or, the working for Democrat Party. She was striving. She wanted to abuse her power in the political arena. She really wanted that so she could attack more people and oppress more people and get people arrested. So they were striving for that. That was their next step. So they got the childhood safety thing going with the court cases and their fake tombs, digital tombs that were all a scam and a lie. And next, Meghan was pushing for office for sure. That was their next. We all remember Meghan bragging and saying she was going to be president. She was saying that back in 2018, 2019. I think I'm going to be president. Yeah, she was working towards that. She was going to start off somewhere in politics and try to get her way in. And how did the Megxit community in general, the real Megxit community, not the posers who pretend to be Megxit, the Hermit. Major Arcana. Yeah, I like that. The shielded face. Yeah, major impact. The Megxit community did impact them. And I think the problem for them, the Hermit is a very wise person, very knowledgeable, and, can look at things from afar, an expert in something or in some ways. Much like TRG. I mean, TRG has got some major skills and abilities here that not the average person has. I can't even imagine how she finds the information she finds. I'm just like, how do you do it? How do you get this information? You know what I mean? But in general, the Megxit community, I think, was a lot more intelligent than Harry and Meghan, that they weren't expecting that, that we would, for the most part, we weren't going to be easy to sway or turn people. They were trying to turn the public against us and try to make us look like the bad guys. But in reality, they look so horrible and they were so unprofessional that the Megxit community actually looked better than them and more credible in every way and just more decent human beings. So yeah. So I think the Megxit community does impact them for a large amount, for large impact on them, but also one of that they couldn't make look like criminals that they wanted to. They wanted to criminalize us and make us look like nothing but a bunch of terrorists, like their Sussex squad. And I think they're exposing them, and exposing that, I think, really worked against them. They did not accomplish, because the queen of the Sussex squatters here, Harry and Meghan, they were very evil, doing everything illegal, nasty, murderous. I mean, these are women who could kill. These are women criminals, assassins like Antifa, like the Sussex. This represents the Sussex squad. The queen can be like a group as well as a woman. So it's a nasty group of women, mainly, who will hurt and kill and dox and harass families and get people fired, get them put in, and push them to commit suicide if they can, and steal their money like they did to Yankee Wally, or burn their house down like they did to Ashley. I mean, really evil criminal group. They wanted to do more damage with that. So besides Meghan with a Meghan would have the backing of those terrorists to get her in office and to burn down the houses of anyone who went against her in politics, I'm sure. But as well as empowering them more and getting them more power with her and her backing. She wanted to grow in power, evil power, though, of course, because nothing but evil. So, yeah, so all in all, though, I do get, the starting card here is that they are very proud of themselves, Harry and Meghan, because they are so dumb, but they do have a lot of powerful backing. I mean, the only reason they accomplished what they did, again, is not because of them, but because of the royal family, James Holt, Nick Clegg at Facebook, deplatforming millions of people who are suffering from serious vaccine adverse reactions, and all the other intelligent people around them, not them. But they did succeed. And of course, they're going to take credit. They're going to pat themselves in the back like they did it. Like those digital lost screens that we all know James Holt did all the work on that, but Meghan's sitting there taking them to the UN and doing her little speeches like as if it were her creation. I mean, it's such a joke. But yeah, so they're patting themselves in the back like they're important VIPs here with the Sun, but they didn't do anything. They're nothing but losers and idiots, and they're bored now because they don't have anything to do now. Their mission's over. So yeah. And so what are they going to do next now? Two of Pentacles, going back and forth. Yeah, of course, I can see this as Meghan trying to make money with her to Instagram. And also still trying to make money both in the UK and US, and going back and forth there in her trying to generate, income and attention and power, continuing that, but not very successfully with a minor arcana. It's just going to be her cropping up here and there, pushing a new jam, pushing a new flower sprinkle, pushing a new bookmark. I mean, really, it's just like, you got to be kidding me, right? And in the long term, Nine of Cups. Well, in the long term, you've got people who are self-satisfied because, they don't have to work. They're spoiled. They're just going to, stuff themselves and drink themselves and, be the usual royal elites, just lazy and arrogant and self-satisfied and thinking they're so great when they're not, when they've done nothing but pose for pictures, and even that they look hideous most of the time, if not all the time. So yeah, I think they are very smug, and in the end, from all this, they feel like they've achieved so much when they achieved nothing. And they were very much influenced. Well, I'm surprised at how influenced the two major arcanas, the only two major arcanas I'm getting here, or three, I should say. One was the outside of the reading, like the Empress Reverse, the attack on women and biological women and all that. That was also a part of this. The major force of this attack is on women and reproduction. But in the 10-card reading of this, the only two major arcanas, or only two, I get the Sun as well as one. But I'm very surprised that TRG, well, maybe not very surprised, but TRG and the Megxit community as a whole, which also surprises me. Of course, TRG is part of that. But just in general, we have been a powerful force for good against them, and slowing them down and making them look stupid and exposing their lies, the royal family backing and all their PR, and of course, I would include what's her name, Laura the Insider. I'm getting her name right. I'm slipping up with names today. I apologize, but yeah, I mean, she's Megxit too. So all of this together, both sides, of the ocean coming together and really exposing this, has really hampered Harry and Meghan and their future, and the royal family and their reputation, and how things are going to go moving forward. Because I'm certainly not going to drop this. I've gotten, nothing for the pain and suffering and sacrifices I've made, as well as other people. I mean, I'm sure if Ashley were still here and Yankee Wally were still here, they'd still be fighting too, for recognition and acknowledgement at the very least, and some sort of mea culpa, and here's for the damages, so the fact that hasn't happened and nothing has happened and we haven't gotten any justice, I'm certainly going to stick around and be very much against anything they do here and any influence they have, and do whatever I can to educate others to stay far away from this royal family. I haven't been really against the royal family from the beginning, but now after all this, I really am. I don't want them anywhere in this country. I don't want them doing anything. I don't want them starting mental health groups here or whatever the hell else they're trying to do here. I want them out completely. They have no business doing anything here. And I certainly do not want Harry and Meghan here. So, and they're coming back. I'm sure they'll go back and forth or try to do things here and visit and whatnot. I'll definitely be against that and complain about that, and do petitions or whatever I can in whatever small way I can, but I will still do it. So yeah, it's not over. It's not over, but it's definitely quieting down, but it's definitely never going to be forgotten. And yeah, so there you have it. So I hope you found this interesting. If you so, please like and subscribe. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.